Hello again. It's time for another big old howdy boys from McDowell County. It's another beautiful fall day. I'm very grateful for it. It's my favorite time of year. A lot of people suffering in our county and a lot of other counties, and the help from other areas has been phenomenal. And it's just something really to be grateful for. There's some good hearted folks out there still in the world, and I'm grateful for everything. Everybody I know's tried to help somebody somewhere, whether they knew them or not. And we're going to look at a couple things today on the case double X's. We're going to look at wood handle knives and Delrin. And before we look at these, I wanted to tell a quick story about this little knife right here. This is Delrin, or synthetic handles. This knife I found on the side of I-40 about 2000. And if you know Bo Jackson, he'll back me up on this story. I was running down I-40 at work in my work truck between the 86 and the 90 westbound, and I saw about half a mile up the road, a crow was going around and around and around in a circle in the emergency strip. So as I got a little bit closer, he flew off. Well, I got about 20 yards from it, and I saw it was a pocket knife. So I got out and picked this knife up, and this was it. And it is a 1970 10 dot case Coke bottle. And I know somebody lost it working on their vehicle probably that night, left it on the radiator or whatever, or on the top, and it flew off. And I hated it for them because I know they missed it. But anyway, if you can look at Delrin handles, you can see they're smooth. They're very smooth, almost waxy when you rub your hands on it. And there is no grain. There is no grain anywhere. It's just a plastic, kind of an oily feeling, greasy feeling plastic. Now, we've talked about this before. The first number on the back of the tang of a case knife is the handle material. Well, the handle material for Delrin is 6. And where the problem lies, the number for wood and Delrin and bone are all 6. The number 6. Well, if you look at a bone handle knife, you can see grain in it. You probably can't over a camera, but you can in real life. Most of the trading I've done in my lifetime has been outside. From childhood has been outside. There's nothing in the world like looking a knife over like sunlight. I don't care what gun show you go to, what knife show, the brightest lights in this world, for you to look at a knife under is not like the sunshine, old Joshua way. And if you can possibly get to sunlight even through a window, try to look it over. But you'll see if you hold a bone knife up, it will have some grain. And most of the time, it'll have a little natural in it. You can see some natural right here maybe over the camera lens. When you get closer to 1980, 81, mid-80s, a lot of this natural you don't see nearly as much. Sometimes you do. Sometimes they've got a lot of natural. But a lot of times they'll be almost just as black as coal. And you have to look at them and get used to looking and feeling your handles. Bone handles, of course, are hard, but they don't have the greasy feel that perfectly slick synthetic Delrin plastic has. Another knife material that I said there's wood, Delrin, and bone. They all have the number 6. Don't know if you can see that number 6 right here, but this is a 1980 elephant toe, which is a nickname for it, and it has wood handles. Now there's people I've looked at knives and people say, "Boy, look at that bone," and it was wood. And a lot of people in this world, most of them, uh, don't mean to lie about it, but they don't realize it. And wood, especially out in the sunlight, you can see the wood grain. It's just like on a sanded, smooth piece of furniture. You can see the grain in the wood. Well, you can also see the grain in wood, but because it has a jigging pattern, which is this roughness right here, it throws people off. Oh, that's bone. Well, it's not bone, but you do have to practice looking at these things. And if I could urge any of you to do something, it would be get a jeweler's loupe to look at your knives with. Something else along these lines, briefly, when looking at Delrin and bone and wood handle knives, bone handle knives can crack mostly around pins, but not always. And the best lights you have, you can't always see them. I know through the years of trading, growing up, I've seen handles that I thought were perfect, and somebody else might have seen a crack in it, and I didn't. I know I might be trading another day, see a crack in a handle. It could be just almost microscopic, but it's there. The next guy wanting to buy or trade for that knife, he may not see it. And I know my dad always said 3 people can't trade. And I always walk off and stay out of it. But if I see a crack in a handle and the man that owns the knife doesn't know, and I can keep somebody from making a mistake, and I make mistakes all the time. I've had people say, "Hey, Thomas, there's a crack in that knife if you go look at it." Or I'll say, "Hey, so-and-so, I saw a crack. Make sure you look for it. I don't think they saw it." Some people will hide a crack and won't tell you, and I could name names I won't, and I hate it, and it ruined their reputation because they would not let people know, "Hey, there's a crack, there's a chip." If you know it, tell them. If you forgot about it and traded it, and you can reach them on the phone or text them, do it. It's all in your favor. If you want to do this for your lifetime and love it and enjoy it, and people look for you knives and you look for them knives that they know you like, the surest way to put that to an end is start trading off knives, trying to pass them for having factory edges, try to pass them for not being cracked, and tell them if you know. And one other thing I will add, this particular bone knife does not have a crack, but most of the time they'll crack around this big pin. And heat can do it, a dry climate can do it, and just being under stress, you might go buy a brand new knife at the hardware, and I know for a fact I got a friend this happened to. He bought one at Jemison's Hardware back in the 70s, and it absolutely was crack and flaw free. He looked it over and over and over. Well, he got it out of his safe one day a few years later, and boom, there was a crack. So they're under stress when they spin these pins in. That's a very small piece of bone and thin. Yes, they can crack in a safe without being dropped or mishandled. But I want to make sure you know, wood, Delrin, and bone all are number 6 on this first number. So look them over good before you trade. And I hope this has been a help to everybody. And I want to thank everybody again that's come and helped after this terrible storm. And I am thankful for this beautiful day. And everybody that watches these things, it means the world to me and my family. I wouldn't blame you if you threw a rock at me if you saw me. I make a lot of mistakes. I've got a lot of faults. And like Jackson Brown said, don't remind me of my failures. I've not forgotten them, and I hadn't either. But you can still throw a rock at me if you want to. But anyway, signing off from McDowell County. Thank you, boys. See ya.